What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and the contents within this package here is about 3 years in the making. Well, it might even be longer than that. It might be more 3.5, closer to 4 years. So a lot of you guys know I do enjoy my CPU mining. If you really think about it, CPU mining began with Bitcoin as the very first way to mine crypto. So the roots are strong when it comes to crypto mining in the form of CPUs, and the CPU mining has gotten me through the latest bear market, and it's been doing definitely a lot better than the GPUs out there. Regardless, we have a rig here. And if you've been looking and following back from the channel from day one, you know that I started with one rig, which was pretty much my gaming PC. I moved over to 2 rigs, then I went to 6 rigs, and now we're hanging out around 30 rigs or so. And the contents of this box is my most powerful CPU mining rig I have ever put together. So obviously it's not put together yet, but we're going to be doing an unboxing here. I'm still waiting on some parts, so I'm going to kind of go through that, but I have everything pre-cut here so I don't have to cut my hand open on camera while trying to do everything with one hand. So we should be able to just quickly open things up and take a look at stuff. But what's going on here is we have a huge CPU mining rig, and let me know down in the comment section before we open this up what you think this is. Now I know a bunch of you guys are in Discord and stuff, maybe follow me on Twitter. You probably already know what this might be, and if you're new, let me know your guesses down below. And if you are new to the channel, you might want to go hit that subscribe button, because I try to put out a video every single day. It does take a lot of work, and we talk about a lot of mining profitability. It doesn't matter on the hardware. I like to mine with whatever is profitable. All right, so we're going to start here with the big box, because if I just open those up, you guys probably already know what that is. If you don't know what those 2 little boxes are, let me know down in the comment section also. It's all about asking questions, and hopefully you guys can answer. So right off the get-go, we can see some RAM. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sticks of RAM right here. Each one is, I'm not even sure how big each one is right now. I think, yeah, so it does say about 16 gigabytes a piece. Hopefully I don't get a reflection in my face. And these are 2666 megahertz RAM. I got those 6 sticks hanging out over there. We got some SATA cables. We're going to move that to the side. We got our IO plate. We don't really utilize that. Next up, this might get a little difficult because this is not cut open yet, and we got more RAM down there. I only have one hand, and I don't want to wreck stuff, so give me a second here. And in that next layer, there was an additional 10 sticks of RAM. So we got our 10 sticks here, 6 sticks over there. That's a total of 16 sticks of RAM. All right, so we got 16 sticks of RAM there. I already pulled it out of the static bag and covered it up. I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what's going on here, but if not, here's what we got. I'm gonna pull this up right here, and bam, we got a dual EPYC system. 2 7742 EPYC CPUs. The speed on these is about 2.23 gigahertz, and we're coming in at 128 cores, 256 threads, and 512 megabytes of L3 cache. What does that mean? You can fully utilize both full CPUs on any coin out there minus Haven. That actually requires 4 megabytes of L3 cache per thread, so we'd only actually be able to use half of this. Not too many people mine that. I think you can mine it on GPUs now, so it's not big of an issue. But when it comes to RandomX algorithm, which is your Zeph, that's your Monero, or maybe Ghost Rider, you do need at least 2 megabytes of L3 cache per thread, and this has that to utilize the full thing, which is where Intel CPUs, they lack quite a bit of. And same with those EPYC 7551s, they are quite a bit cheaper, but they lack the L3 cache as well, and you cannot utilize the full CPU on a lot of the CPU mineable coins. So that's why we do need a lot of L3 when it comes to CPU mining. So we'll just take a quick look. As you can see here, we do have the AMD EPYC 7742, and we'll go on to the other side here. And same thing, but it's backwards, 7742. Now, one thing I'm kind of wondering about is which way am I going to run the coolers, which we haven't even unboxed yet, so maybe we should do that. So here are the coolers that I am using, just like on my single 7742. These are 4U. You can get them in 3U, 2U, and 1U. The size is pretty much in your server rack, how many slots it would ultimately take. Now, obviously, the lower down you go, the smaller the fan, and the more they'll start to sound like a server PSU and get extremely extremely loud. So the bigger you go, the quieter they are, which makes more sense for a lot of the home miners out there. So that's why I did go with the 4Us, because they are pretty darn quiet. Also, I'm glad a couple weeks back I did pick up a big beast of thermal paste. If it'll actually focus, it doesn't want to at all. It's going out focus. There we go. So a big beast of thermal paste. You never know when you run out, and these things use a lot of thermal paste. So if you need thermal paste and it's always on your back burner, make sure you have it. Links in the description to pick yourself up some. Now earlier I was mentioning how should I run it. So, you know, maybe we could go like this. I'm not sure if this would be a good idea because it might be fighting for air in between here. Also, we got to kind of keep the heat sinks and stuff down here cooled off as well. So I don't know if they'll be fighting for air too much because the hot air does blow out this way. So I'm up in the air on how to run this. I don't want to run having the back towards it. So if I did something like this, you know, this might be a bad thing to do because then we'll be sucking in cool air here, blowing hot air out here. This would then be sucking in this hot air, and this CPU would be running fairly warm on top of we're blowing some heat on here. Now there are other options. I did see Weed Farm Mining. He was actually doing something like this. Now the one thing about these motherboards is they are kind of offset a little bit. Some motherboards are side by side, and that could make things a little more rough. But he was thinking of an idea of having them like this. He does have them like this already, and it seems to be okay. But you know, now they're pushing together, and then it's just going to exhaust wherever. Obviously up hot air rises, but we're going to be getting a lot of heat hammering in on that heat sink right there. So he did have something to do with like a card going angled like this. So in theory, it'd be hitting that and blowing out this way, and then it'd be hitting that card this way and blowing out and kind of going to the side. So it won't really be blowing at each other, but we're still nailing this heat sink with hot air. So I'm up in the air on how I actually want to situate these. I might try it with the fans inward and just see how it goes. Now I might need a bunch more thermal paste because, you know, you try 2 or 3 different orientations here, you're going to use up all that thermal paste pretty darn fast. All right, so I did mention earlier I don't have everything available yet to actually put this rig together. So what I'm missing, actually the NVMe drive should be here today. I am hoping. We'll see what happens later on today, but I don't have the power supply yet. So you remember I did get that single EPYC 7742, and when testing this on RandomX, which is XMR, Zeph, and so on, I was using about 336 watts, I think it was. So in theory, 2 of these, depending on the efficiency of only using one motherboard, you might see a little better there. We should be around, say, 660 some watts, maybe 700 watts. I don't know. So in theory, based on ATX power supplies, 50% is where your peak efficiency is. So I have a 1200 watt platinum rated power supply coming for this beast. That way we will be running that thing as close to 50% as we can and on platinum power. So we should be running this thing as efficient as we possibly can. So I have that coming. I think that's going to be sweet. I do want to actually test that power supply versus maybe like an 850 watt. I'm going to have to see how much power this actually pulls though, and see, you know, platinum versus gold rated, how much of a difference will it actually make. But, you know, just for planning out this build, I did go with a 1200 watt platinum rated PSU. It is on the way. It might not be here till next week, but that is to peak efficiency eyes. I just made that word up, I think. But, you know, that's to hit the peak efficiency that this rig could do. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it performs with that power supply. There we have it, guys. So that is the dual EPYC 7742 unboxing. Let me know your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. I can't wait to build this thing. The build video will be coming soon once that power supply comes in. But oh my gosh, the beast is finally here. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.